It is the beginning of a brand new week, and Bitcoin has got this really interesting ascending channel here. We've actually been trading in it since 11th of May, and now on the 23rd, we are backtesting it. We were previously finding support along this line for a good amount of time. I mean, overall, all things considered, 9 days as a support level is decent. And especially interesting now is the fact that we have come up for multiple subsequent retests. Now, the fact that we've come up for a second retest could definitely be an indication that this thing wants to rally a little bit higher. If we zoom out onto the 1 hour time frame, that was actually 15-minute we were just looking at there, you can see how pronounced these two attempts at our resistance level are, and that is very, very interesting. Even on the 4 hour time frame, we've got a wick here, and if we get rejected, this will turn into a wick as well. But this is where the problems are for Bitcoin. See, the Bitcoin price actually got rejected off the Ichimoku cloud right here, and one of the functions of the Ichimoku cloud, as we know very well, is that as the price keeps on trending lower, so does the Ichimoku cloud. And that's exactly what we're looking at right now, where we are now yet again brushing up against resistance with two different forms of resistance, one from the Ichimoku cloud right here and one from the trend line right here. When we have multiple different areas providing resistance in the same place, as we know very well, that is usually going to be an indication of that resistance potentially having something fairly significant attached to it. The thing is that if we do end up breaking higher into this range, this middle line, I think, is going to probably have some weight on the market. And we can actually already see that we really traded alongside this line right here. If we kind of zoom out and examine that, it's very interesting to see. I mean, these are just common rules of technical analysis that you learn fairly early on in any book, really. And I mean, we've got this here, as support. We're finding a little bit of resistance or whatever the case may be here, a bit of resistance here, a lot of consolidation. There is a decent chance that this line will have something to say about Bitcoin's bullish action right now if it does end up breaking back into this range. And this is the thing, is that, there is a lot more resistance up ahead for Bitcoin. If it's able to breach this area, this green box is just so problematic for Bitcoin. We've actually been forming, as a result of this kind of resistance zone, some sort of, this is really interesting, some sort of potential kind of descending triangle or triangle of some sort. If we kind of extend this line out a little bit, if we draw a kind of support line, I don't know, there might be something here. This is definitely worth paying attention to. That is definitely a triangle, 100%. That's as good as a triangle gets, in my opinion, right there. So very classic bearish pattern, guys. I mean, it is just a consolidation if we do end up getting rejected here. To be honest, if we do get rejected here, I think that's it. I think we're out. And we'd have to kind of measure what this would look like by getting the flagpole, which I'm going to draw down to here. Let's zoom out a little bit so I don't get confused by the intraday volatility here. We don't want to let the noise kind of cloud what we're seeing here. And if we just kind of use this to extrapolate where that target might take us down to, this is a bad pattern right here. This is a $23,000 target. I don't necessarily think this is going to happen, but I certainly think that coming up to this 25k target would make sense. This is much more bearish, and what I did mention to you guys in the past, I don't know if it's worth repeating, but you guys always seem to find it okay if I do repeat important things, and to be honest, that it's important to do so just so that we don't lose track of important things when everybody's starting to get quite excited. And the thing about these kind of support grabs is that it's very likely for the market to just shoot it lower. It might want 25k, but it's very likely for the market to shoot it lower, grab some liquidity down here, and then move back up. Because what happens here is a lot of people start entering short positions, and they're placing their long positions as we're dropping down to our support area, and they're placing their stop losses down here, and so what happens is, the price just kind of, goes down there to stop those positions out. Down here, a lot of people are entering short positions, and their stop losses are here and here and here and here and here. So the price goes out and takes those as well. I'm sure that many of you have been victim of this extremely classic, typical play in the market. It's been one of Bitcoin's most common tricks since 2018, and that was actually, for those of you that are interested, that came as a result of HFT bots, right? The bots just became really fucking good at trading, and they all kind of descended on Bitcoin. That's my understanding of it anyway. If any of you guys have a different explanation, I'd love to know about it, but that was the only one that had credibility as far as explanations went for that back in 2018. Just an interesting thing. You may or may not be interested in that kind of thing, but there you go. You've heard it anyway. And the thing about this kind of, price action is that this would be quite exciting as a trader, right? Whether we move up or down, there's just so much volatility to be had. The good news for Bitcoin is that if it does move down here, this is such an easy, clean range. Again, this is where a lot of these long positions that have stop losses over here are going to start getting triggered. And what actually happens is as we start triggering stop losses for long positions, let's take a second to understand the mechanics of this trade. If you are long, which means if you are in a buying position, the only way to close that position, if you bought something, the only way to close the position where you hold that item or that asset is by selling it. And similarly, or exactly the same actually in these markets, when you're stopped out of your long position, the only way to close a long is by opening a short. And that is exactly what I think we could be seeing in terms of, the really, really big catastrophic sell-offs, that could result from here. And this is the thing is, like, I know it's kind of a bullish day, but I can't have that bullish energy about me. It's just, this market just has too much going against it right now, between the Ichimoku cloud, which is still looming directly overhead and stretches all the way up to the top of the green box right here. There's the VPVR, which, as we know very well, represents where key resistance and support zones might be, and we're about to potentially pump into one, and if we don't, and if we're able to overcome that, we're gonna pump into an even bigger one after that. So we really need a lot of strength. But what's quite clear is that with this kind of triangle pattern, this is your classic kind of bearish pennant, right? So if this doesn't end up kind of pumping now, then it is going to look like a rejection that kind of spills to the downside for me right here. The good news for Bitcoin, though, is traditional finance, guys. I mean, the S&P 500, exactly as I've been saying, it kind of doesn't make sense, has just been holding so strong above its resistance area. The fact that it's been consolidating here is very reassuring to me. Look, granted, I'm disappointed that we haven't moved significantly higher by now. It's been a good number of days. We certainly could have. I'm not going to say we should have, but we certainly could have. But that's okay because we're not collapsing below our support and we are holding these highs. And this gets really interesting, right? Because Bitcoin's in one position, the S&P 500's in one position, potentially a much more tradable asset right now. Support is so close by and resistance is a little bit further away, right? So it's actually, there's a lot of potential for a position to be made here. And if you guys are interested in being able to take advantage of the S&P 500, if you want to trade Apple stock, Tesla stock with leverage, gold, oil, and Bitcoin, all the cryptos, all the shit coins that you can dream of, BingX is your place to be. And you don't even need to take a picture of yourself or a picture of your ID. So those of you that are a little bit more privacy minded, there aren't that many options around right now. Obviously, you can Google it if you're interested, but this is one that I'm using personally. And I'm also on Bybit. I've been on Bybit for years. I love these guys, and they have everything your heart could desire, including up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses. Meaning when you deposit cash onto this platform and when you start trading with that cash, they're going to give you much more, depending on how much you've deposited, that you can actually trade with, and any profits that you generate with the free money they give you, up to 30K, any profits are yours to withdraw. 0% spot trading fees as well, meaning if you're going to just buy, sell coins normally, you're not even going to pay fees, so it doesn't get better than that. Definitely worth checking them two out. And BingX specifically, if you want to be able to trade indices like this. Now, the dollar has continued to move up, and this is where things get a little bit more interesting, because see where the S&P 500 has a little bit of strength right now. The dollar also has a little bit of strength right now, and so does Bitcoin. So, this is not something that we typically see. That traditional finance is all kind of firing off everywhere, including the dollar. Even gold, I think. No, gold dropped a little bit today. So that's good. So gold is moving a lot more, in line with the dollar index right here. But again, we link this back to Bitcoin and what this shows as well. Again, for me, I've been saying this for a while. And I actually said it since we were down here. I want you guys to smash a huge fucking like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed. You got the bell icon checked and all that good stuff. If you did watch that bit of analysis, because that was just spectacularly on point, absolutely phenomenal. And what we did have here was a situation where I was talking to you about the dollar actually potentially falling, going all the way from the bottom of this range to the very top, and how we did have this little bit of resistance in the middle. And And what we are looking at now, sorry guys, a little bit distracted there, is another resistance level up here at about 103.9. And that's kind of where I see the dollar going, and especially after this pullback. See, this pullback that we managed to have right here, definitely, I think, has been one of the things that's allowed the dollar to continue this rally, and I mean, yeah, if we sweep this high, then it's pretty much a given that we're probably going right to the top. Until we sweep the high, obviously, you know, it's not super clear if we're still in a bullish trend, but I mean, you know, let's be honest. So kind of looks pretty bullish to me. Resistance up here, it's not that far away. You know, it's not that far away. If we do clear this area of resistance, I'm expecting a move up here. And any increases for the dollar are generally going to happen very much in line with decreases in Bitcoin. So this is definitely something that I am going to continue to keep an eye on. You know, if this does continue to rally up, and especially if the dollar breaks resistance here at 103.8, I certainly think that we're going to be looking at a big climb up there and probably some disaster for Bitcoin. But right now, we don't really have to worry about that. I do want to zoom in and talk a little bit about Bitcoin reclaiming these ranges. I think this is what a lot of you guys are going to be a little bit more interested. And if we do just kind of zoom in and talk about where our resistance levels are and what we need to break, it's the fact that we have so much lining up right here that honestly, I mean, you're probably going to know the answer by the time you watch this YouTube video, but you know, this looks like it certainly could get rejected. If it doesn't, for me, it's going to be this mid line here, wherever, you know, wherever Bitcoin is, however long it takes Bitcoin to get here, it's going to be somewhere along this line for resistance. I think this is also going to put Bitcoin squarely in an Ichimoku cloud and VPVR resistance. And by the way, I forgot to show you this, daily EMA resistance as well. So you know, it really is everything piled up against us right now. You know, I mean, for me, the key level to break will be the top of this green box. If we're able to get a dollar above 28,000, that will be a really big deal. And if we're able to clear this this yellow line, I should probably move it down to about here. If we're able to clear this yellow line at about 28.6, that's it. We're fucking full bull mode again. I'll start. I won't even say. I'm more mature than that now. But I'll, you know, it'll be very exciting. I'll be riding this long. I'm still in the long position, right? So I'm obviously looking forward to that happening. You know, so I think that's what I'd be looking at. You know, if Bitcoin was able to get above the green box and especially the yellow line right here. But you know, until and unless that happens, there's just so much stacked up against Bitcoin right now that. You know, coming down to the 200-day EMA. I mean, wow, it just couldn't fucking be better than that, really, could it? Let's see if there's another important EMA hanging around at any of these price levels here. They are probably going to be offering support. Okay, 50-day moving average is resistance in the same place. That is a lot of resistance stacked up against Bitcoin, ladies and gents. Let's see what the weekly time frame is saying as well. I haven't actually looked at these. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's what you like to see. That's what you like to see. That's the 200-week moving average. I don't know why I haven't seen this yet. Why has no one told me about this yet? What the fuck, guys? You always send me charts on Telegram and Twitter and stuff. No one showed me this line. Yo, someone needs to keep an eye on the 200-week moving average and just like shoot me a message. Look at that. Resistance here. Yeah, potentially support here. That is probably the most bullish. That's the single most bullish thing about this chart. It is this line. I think I need to make a whole video dedicated to this line. If you want me to do that, then drop a comment for me down below and I'll go ahead and do that. And while you're down there, guys, if you are interested, definitely check out the other promos available to you. Make sure you do hit up the like button. Check that you're subscribed. A lot of you guys watch this content regularly, but you're not even subscribed, which means that you're not going to get all this content when it's published. You're only going to get it when the algorithm thinks you wants to see it. So, you know, if you trust the algorithm more than you, then sure. But if not, engaging with the videos shows the algorithm to show you more content like this, and it helps out as well. Obviously, if you want to get inside of 4Fly's VIP, the steps are always down here and on screen right here. If you have enjoyed this video, guys, do me a massive favor and throw up a like right here, like I said just a second ago, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'm out. Cheers.